Hi, hello, and welcome to another true crime live stream. Why am I seeing in the chat? Why am I seeing about like only a talk about Tyrant's raise, pay raise? But hi, welcome. If you're here as a new viewer, hi, I'm FEARSONA. You can call me Fear or Sona, whichever you like, and I'm your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber. And if you're a returning viewer, hi, thank you so much for tuning in every week. So let's do this. Let me give you full body chills this week as well. Wait, Colorado, where Digimon movie spent a lot of time in for some reason. Hey, I mean, Colorado has quite a few weird things that I read about, and obviously I've never been to Colorado, but like reading it, I'm very interested in visiting the state. Like, what is happening there? Poor Fear. But before we start, let me take a moment to encourage you guys to check out my other social media. Everything you can find, like all the links, you can find them in the description of this video. So head over there and you can find all my social media and follow me there for announcements, for updates. And also, I've got like quite a few announcements to make. So this month it's Spooktober. It's the, you know, Halloween time. And it's my it's my favorite time of the year because, you know, I can shamelessly just talk about spooky stuff and not weird people out. Because that's what usually happens when I talk to people about like true crime outside of Halloween, and they are like, what the fuck are you looking up? But because it's Spooktober, I'm gonna be having a horror game marathon on my Twitch account. So you can head over there. It's gonna be in the days leading up to Halloween. And on the last day, so on October 31st, on Halloween, I'm gonna be having a re-debut stream of my new VTuber model. And I hope that you guys will tune in. I'm gonna make it special. I'm gonna make a special true crime case and a re-debut in one video. But if you're interested in seeing the model like ahead of everyone, I'll be holding a private stream on my Patreon. So if you join and support my work for only $5 a month, you can see that private stream this month. And that's gonna be very likely on October 24th. But I'm gonna update you guys, so you can find link in the description. And you know, if you want to toss a coin on your friendly neighborhood true crime VTuber, just head over there and yeah, you can support me there if you feel like, you know, you want to support me for a couple of months, whichever, if you're able to, obviously. I hope you play Resident Evil games. I actually played, like, I started playing Resident Evil, I guess the first one. Wait, I don't know if that's the first one, but Tyrant, you know, courtesy of Tyrant Kitsune, he shared a 2 Resident Evil games. So I was playing Resident Evil in my last Twitch stream for the first time, and and yeah, and I'm gonna continue this week. So, well, I mean the upcoming week. So you guys can tune in on my Twitch and watch me play Resident Evil and be terrible at it. But yeah, again, if you feel like you would like to view my VTuber model and, you know, like join a private stream for patrons only, October 24th, this month, you can join my Patreon. So go ahead. And if you want to stay up to date, again, you can join my social media. And that's it. That's pretty much it. Wait, I made her. Yeah, like that's Tyrant. Tyrant is guilty of that. Okay, I did what? As a horror game. What? Sorry, maybe I didn't, Pancho Villa. What do you mean? Wait, Wildfire Ashlyn Brown is here. Okay, hi. Hi, Ashlyn. Sorry, I just read it. That is a good point. Does matter, what? One dead count as a horror game? It's a horror game. I was like, what is this? Sorry, I'm just like clueless. Plus it's like morning for me, so yeah, I didn't have breakfast. I'm hungry. I'm like not in my right mind. I don't remember my name. Metroid. Okay, Dread. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess. Oh, okay. I've never played that one. Okay, but anyway, to the point. So Colorado, a state that made snowball fights illegal in Aspen, and picking flowers on a public land illegal all around. Like, truly, sounds like the happiest, absolutely happiest state of them all, doesn't it? The hell's, like, honestly, when I read it, the hell is wrong with Colorado? You got too many chunks of coal for Christmas? I don't know. Decent crowd today. Yeah, it is. Like, I can see, like, what, 18 people? I just saw, like, 18 people or 15 people. But anyway, yeah, like, Colorado, something's happening. I don't know. They don't like flowers, picking flowers all around. They don't like snowball fights in Aspen, which is, like, crazy because what the fuck do you do when you have snow? Like, that's the first thing you do. What can I say? Colorado, a state where Ebenezer Scrooge and Grinch have the final say. Yeah, the population is mostly like Grinch. Hello, Fear. I'm ready for some horror. Nice, Ashlyn. Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely ready for this case. And mind you, you gotta make yourself comfortable because this case is not only crazy, it's fucking long. So we're gonna be here. We're gonna be stuck here for quite a while. Nice. Fuck them flowers. They kill me every summer. No, but it's not like, it's not banned to you know, to plant flowers. It's banned to pick up flowers, which is like, if you're having a bad day, maybe you want some flowers, but no, you're gonna, the moment you pick up that daisy, it's just gonna be like, woo, 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 woo. And someone's gonna arrest you. Oh man, we had to ban flowers picking in California because it got nuts. Oh, I mean, I can see that, like, you know, obviously flowers means pollens and means that bees are gonna survive, and no flowers means no bees. So, and that means we're gonna die. So yeah, so, you know, on one hand, yeah, it's kind of shitty, but on the other hand, also, I don't understand the snowball fights in Aspen. Like, what the fuck? Why? Is it because rich people go there and it's just like too posh and, you know, they don't want any of that plebeian shit going on. I don't know. I like a good snowball fight whenever I see snow, whenever like it's winter. But whatever works for them, you know. Okay. So let me switch to my murder board. Nuts, you say. Okay, so today we're gonna focus on what else is fucked up in Colorado, and apparently that is a chain of deaths surrounding one religious cult, and particularly the leader of that cult. Let me just pull up my murder board because I hid it for some reason. Okay, so the spiritual... Oh, wait. Okay, so the spiritual group and its founder have gained a somewhat suspicious opinion which circulated that, quote, followers had a habit of dying shortly after willing their possessions to her, meaning to the leader. And it is known that between 1977 and 1980, at least 10 people with connection to the conscious development of body, mind, and soul died in very suspicious circumstances. Reportedly, 2 out of those 10 people informed her family, like their family, that they have terminal illness, when in fact the autopsy completely denied it. And at least 4 others willed their property and money, totaling over... Oh, sorry, my pronunciation is great today. So they willed, you know, everything they had, totaling over $500,000 to the spiritual group's founder and leader. And this is the story of Terri Hoffman and the conscious development... God, great. I wanted to sound great. I wanted to do that spooky title and I fucked it up. Again, this is the story of Terri Hoffman and the conscious development of body, mind, and soul cult. So the story of Terri Hoffman starts much, much earlier than the cult even came to existence. At age 4, Terri claimed to have experienced her very first supernatural vision. And this is gonna be good, so buckle up. Wait, Hoffman looks like a Karen. I mean, maybe that was, you know, Karen of 1970s and 80s. It was Terri instead. I want to believe that. Geez, try saying that cult name 3 times really fast. I will not attempt. That's a very long name. Depends on who you throw it out. Oh, what? Depends on who you throw it out, I guess. I like sorry, I didn't catch that at first. I was like, what? I like learning about cults. They are fascinating. Yeah, they they are very fascinating. Although this one is gonna be downright insane and downright just nuts and crazy. Redo, MIB come to everyone and MIB come to everyone, Men in Black come to everyone and make them forget that screw up. I mean, that's another story. That's a story for another day, the Men in Black, by the way. Okay, so back to the story. So, you know, as I said, at the age of 4, Terri started having, as she claimed, those supernatural visions. And then she claimed that she had a vision of 3 men dressed in splendid robes, who then proceeded to tell her, quote, "You can do or be anything you want, if you want it badly enough," end quote. Many believe it was just the defense mechanism of her mind, a mind of a child in an impoverished and disadvantaged situation that she was in. However, later it would become the very base of the mystic doctrines of Terri's religious cult, affecting lives and causing deaths of her devoted followers. So Terri was born on March 21st, 1938 in Fort Stockton, Texas. And she was unfortunate to be brought into a world in complete poverty, which resulted in her being sent to a Lutheran orphanage at the age of 9. After spending 2 years in that orphanage, at the age of 11, she was finally adopted and started her new life as Terri Lee Benson. So, in 1953, we skip a little, and she married a truck driver, John Wilder. That was her first husband, and boy, there were a lot. I'm gonna, man, when we get into the story, this is just gonna spiral out of control at one point, and it's gonna be great. Wait, what's happening? Oh, I'm going to have a field day with this. Yeah, that's gonna be this is one heck of a story, and every part of this story, when I was reading this, I was like, every next person tied to this cult, and I was just going like, what the fuck is happening? Why would you, why? Like, what happened? Why is this person not in jail? Okay, that doesn't sound like a cult. I mean, and nothing sounds like a cult until, you know, it is a cult. Apple doesn't sound like a cult, but yeah, and yet. But I'm not gonna talk about that because that's my, you know, personal opinion, and I have no proof, so I don't want to throw accusations. Even though I'm just about to like talk about like this whole cult, murderous cult, and throw some accusations. It's okay. She looks like someone I've seen before in another cult. Possibly, I don't know. Maybe she was like involved in more than one. So far, I just know about this one. So, 1953, she got married when she was 15 years old. Hey, I mean, this was the 50s, and it was also Texas. So we don't know what. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was still Texas. So she got, you know, married to this guy. And mind you, she had 3 children with him. Daughter Kathy, son Kenneth, and another daughter Virginia. And everything changed in 1971 when Terri and John filed for divorce, and soon Terri got admitted into Parkland Hospital for psychiatric evaluation. She lost the custody of her 2 younger children, with only Kathy left in her care. That was a huge blow that took a toll on her, you know, physical and mental health. And then Terri turns to meditation. So she turns into meditation, oh god, I can't pronounce it ever. Metaphysics and Silva Mind Control, which is a self-help meditation program that claims to increase brain functions in an individual, as well as helps develop psychic abilities like clairvoyance, which, what the fuck? Give me some of that. So Terri also started getting more and more into the writings of Edgar Cayce, or Cayce, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Edgar Cayce, an American self-proclaimed clairvoyant who was claiming to have the ability to channel his higher self in a trance state in his sleep, and like apparently his assistants were like sitting by his bed when he was sleeping and writing down everything that he was saying in his sleep, basically sleep talking. And apparently he was talking about the present, I don't know, like the near future and far future events, and it was kind of checking out, or I don't know, I didn't go into that too much. But yeah, this was one weird fella, and he wrote a bunch of books on his quote unquote method. And then, Terri got into it a lot. She started running a free meditation class out of Southern Methodist University. And soon her charisma, inspirational ideas and spiritual teachings gained her quite a few followers. Terri also continued to speak about her spiritual visions that she continued to have into her adulthood. She would later teach her followers that the meditation and prayers allow her to get into a state in which she can observe, quote, the past, present, and future laid out like farmland through an airplane window, end quote. Oh god, okay, this is not the end, but like I'm just like I'm smiling right now because it's like it just sounds like it sounds, like it. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, like it sounds like it sounds, like I don't know. So another one of her claims was that she could, quote, travel outside her body, communicate with the dead, and protect her followers even from auto accidents, so from car accidents and cancer. Terri also claimed that she had, quote, levitated her body in bed, end quote. And a student also reported that Terri would not seek medical assistance for her son's dislocated thumb because she believed she could heal him with meditation and her higher self. Lady, I think you need to stop taking whatever it is you're taking. I don't know, ayahuasca, DMT, whatever it is, it ain't good for you. It ain't good for your son, clearly, like, and his dislocated thumb either. So please take him to the hospital, like if I were a bystander, I would be like, what is this lady taking? Why? But that's essentially what happened, like it's terrible. It's terrible. But she was, Raya's like, oh, Jesus. Yeah, like she legit believed in those things. She believed that she could cure cancer, or at least she claimed she could. No, she needs some real meds. Yeah, I know. And she needs some, very nice men in very, very nice, white uniforms with this like very fashionable and chic jacket that has like arms, sleeves wrapped around itself. Yeah, I'm talking about straight jacket. That's what she needs. That's what she needs. Okay, so let me go further. So in 1974, Terri founded and legally incorporated a group called Conscious Development of Body, Mind, and Soul Incorporated. She claimed it is only a formality required for her to, quote, sell tapes and booklets of her teachings, end quote. I mean, that's just setting up a cult. That's just setting up a church, whatever. Like, we already know it's madly easy to even set up a church. Even you can set it up in a state that you don't even live in, you've never been to. You can just file for it and you can just write down, okay, yeah, this church is located in Texas, even though you live in the fucking New York. And no one's gonna question you. As long as, you have a gathering every week, no one's gonna question you. Like, that's it. You can just go ahead and just, set it up. She is, what? Ascending... Oh god, I'm sorry, I can't read this because it's just like so what? Ascending, what? State of being, oh god, okay. Sorry, I couldn't like read it entirely. Don't Christian scientists do something similar by praying? Yeah, I mean, do they? I mean, if they do, that sounds terrible too. I don't know if though the 50s asylum were a bit rough, to say the least. I mean, I think that this lady, and you all know why. This is like 1970s by now, but like, yeah, she started in the 1950s. But you're gonna see, like, you're saying that the mental asylums in the 50s were rough, or like even in the 70s they were rough. You'll see why this lady needs it. Essentially, like, she is in need of that asylum. It's like the Davidian compound in Wacom. Oh, is it? Oh, is that the other one? Oh, believe me, this is gonna turn very quickly into Jamestown. Jonestown, not Jamestown. What am I saying? Jonestown. Maybe not to this scale, but you know, it's just gonna be, it's gonna be terrible. Okay, so let's get back to this. So by the end of 1970s and the beginning of 1980s, her meditation classes reportedly attracted hundreds and hundreds of people. This is where the shady and the mysterious, like shady stuff and the mysterious deaths come into play. So after her divorce to John Wilder, her first husband, that was finalized on December 28th, 1970, Terri was granted the custody of her oldest daughter, Kathy, as I mentioned. And then, only 4 months after her divorce to John, then 33-year-old Terri married a 20-year-old student named Glen Scott Cooley. So Cooley soon dropped out of his school and focused only on helping Terri with the conscious development. Mind you, Terri also started a jewelry, oh god, I can never pronounce this, but jewelry business under conscious development's name, and it was called CD Gems. The core idea behind this was that followers were basically ordered to buy the overpriced handmade jewelry that Terri claimed she would then turn into powerful protective gems. Holy shit, that's genius. I think we could do that with biscuits, you know? Like, do you guys think we could do that with biscuits? We can just, like, I can start, you know, selling the powered up biscuits, tell people, like, hey, this is gonna, you know, this is gonna make you immortal. And I can throw in some tea that's gonna make you immortal. Immortality. But, okay. So, business and the cult were thriving. Hundreds of people would attend Terri's weekly lectures in Dallas, Texas, and many more would buy Conscious Development's printed teachings. And then it got to the point where Terri would believe herself and claim herself to be the reincarnation of Saint Teresa of Avila. And in her meditation sessions, mind you, this is like some Christian lady who was just a saint, and Terri just like randomly said, "Oh yeah, I'm totally her reincarnation. I'm not gonna follow Christian teachings. I'm not gonna be a nun. I'm gonna be completely unrelated, and I'm just gonna set up this, just this cult. That's it, you know? That's what whoever, and not even talk about God or anything. Like, she would be like, yeah, that's what the higher power wants me to do. But just like, wait a moment, because it gets crazier. So in her meditation sessions, Terri would instruct the followers to surround her, form what she referred to as a psychic shield, claiming that this protected her from the, quote, Black Lords, end quote, who she said constantly tried to attack her. I mean, man, it sounds so bad now. Nowadays, it sounds so bad. I would be like, well, I mean, a lot of people would be like, wow, lady, are you implying something? And picture this. This lady actually convinced people to shell out over thousands of dollars in cash and jewelry to the cult while they were alive, and to write off anything they had to Terri in their will after their death. Like, you know, like they would just like scribble this will. Not only were they encouraged and like basically ordered to spend a lot of money while in the cult, they were also like very much encouraged to just, you know, will her everything that they owned, which is great. That's just awesome. Some business model. So, okay, sorry. So one of those people was Terry's new husband, Glen Coleman. He wrote a will handing over everything in his estate to Terri, even despite their divorce. And then he suddenly OD'd in 1977. And his will is, when I read this this part, it's just like so abundantly clear that there's something going on, you know. The Black Lords. They both look nuts though. Yeah, both Terri and Teresa, yeah, they don't look like of sane mind, I have to say. She said, what? Yeah. Yeah, essentially, like, she, just, had Black Lords chasing after her, and she needed a human shield. Surprise, surprise! Wait, does that mean it was, like, Men in Black? And the circle, quote-unquote circle, was, basically a human shield from bullets, when the Men in Black just shoot her. I want to believe that's us, but I want to believe that. Willing your money to the group is depressingly common with cults. Yeah, I know, right? Like, well, it's also very common to, like, basically commit, I don't know, a percentage of your income, and like a huge percentage of your income. Like, I'm not talking about like $5. I'm talking about, I don't know, like half of your income to the cultish groups, which is like fucking insane. And not only that, like, after you're basically putting them in your will and you're giving it up to people you don't know. But okay. I hope the Black Lords come in and avenge Glen Coleman, who deserved better. Oh boy, this is like, it gets even worse. So, like, I just told you that he died, but it gets so much worse. So anyway, I was talking about Glen Coleman's will, and in his will, he said exactly these words, the following. Okay, quote, I, Glen Coleman, give to Terri Coleman all of my property, both personal and real. This includes 2 boats, a 1972 Buick Limited, or whatever it is called, all jewelry and equipment for its making, all furnishings for the house on Dunhaven Road. Glen had given Terri clear title to the house, by the way, like two weeks earlier, and all cash. I ask that this last will of mine not be contested by anyone in any way for any reason. Last but not least, I give all of my love to all my family and friends. Oh, how nice of you. And, okay, and he continues, quote, as explanation for all of this, I can't really say what it is because of, I don't know, because of what, but I can say, I can't really say what it is because of, but I can say what it is not because of. It is not because of divorce with Terri, past drug experiences, inability to cope, etc. What it is, I myself know, but don't have the words for. End quote. And then he made himself a cocktail of drugs and died. Not suspicious at all. Like, at all. And, yeah, and I mentioned about the divorce, like, he mentions the divorce with Terri. They actually did get divorced, like, before he died. Like, before he died, there were allegations that Terri and one of the former students of the cult, oh no, that's another part, but basically, their relationship was not good. Terri and Glen's relationship was already, like, rocky, and they divorced, and then he died. So, not suspicious at all. And also, this part is crazy. Like, as I said, there were some allegations that Terri and one of the former students of the cult, at the time the student of the cult, were actually present in the fucking cabin when Glen died. But according to, I don't know, like, other students, Glen had already ingested the drugs when they arrived. So it's not like, oh, they arrived and they made him ingest the drugs. No, like, it was, oh, like, they arrived and it was already too late. Tear. Oh, so sad. I call bullshit, but okay. Okay, so let me Okay, so Terri uses Glen's untimely death to spread the word that, quote, the Black Lords had the power to poison our blood, end quote. And with this, she started endorsing bloodletting. Why? So, if you don't know, bloodletting is a treatment of withdrawing blood from a patient to prevent or cure illness, disease, poisoning, whatever you like, which was based on an ancient system of medicine. It was believed that blood and other bodily fluids have to be in balance to maintain, perfect health. This practice has long been, in most part, abandoned by modern medicine, except for really a handful of very, very specific medical conditions. So it is definitely not something anyone should be doing on their own, without a medical professional and medical assistance, and without a very, very specific reason. But that's what Terri and the cult did. And one of the former members reported, quote, we needed to have our bloodletting, taken out of ourselves to drain the poison out. And another member got several syringes and just sterilized them and took blood out of whoever felt they needed to have their blood let. A little vial, as much as you went to a doctor to get your blood tested, end quote. There is a fucking difference. There's a difference if you do it on your own, and there's a fucking difference when you do it at the doctor's office for a blood test. Like, why? The four humors, baby. What? Wait, I missed it. The will. Terri totally didn't murder me, guys. Please don't look into it. I know, right? Like, that's exactly how it sounds. That's how it sounds. Like, Glen was just saying, it just sounded like someone was, I don't know, like he was at a gunpoint and he was writing this, and they were like, he was like, I died. There's nothing there definitely nothing suspicious about my death. Please don't, and the fact that I'm leaving all of my possessions to my ex-wife, please don't look into this. Nothing to see here. I don't know. R.I.P. Glen. Ever heard of 9/11 students? No, I haven't. I have to, yeah, like I talked about 9/11, but I talked about Sneha Philip, but not about students, so I have to look into that. That sounds, oh god, I already know that it's gonna be crazy. 9/11 students. Okay, so, or 911 students or 9/11 students? Okay, you can, Bacon, you can explain, like, what is it? I'm Tyrant, save me, I am scared. What can I do? Yeah, the four humors. The Black Lords. Bill, Bob, Ben, and Kevin. Kevin is the odd one. the odd one out. Just like, Kevin is the one they never listen to, even though ironically, or 911. Yeah, like, I know, right? Hi, Deku. Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. I thought bloodletting was under the same category as inoculation. I mean, as I said, like, it's, yeah, like, I think pretty much, and also, well, as I said, it's still used in modern medicine, but only in very, very specific cases, like for very specific conditions, I guess. No, I meant they should call 911 because he's overdosing. Oh, okay. Oh god, I was like, is that a case? Is that a case? 9/11 students? What? Why? So ever heard of 911 students? Should be like, comma. Yeah, I know, right? Like, no one heard about 911 there, apparently. The Black Lords are like, we don't have time for your nonsense, Kevin. Even though Kevin is like, you know, guys, maybe we should, like, stop this lady. Like, physically, we should stop her because she's doing a lot of bad things to people. And they're like, no, none of that. Am I late? Just a little bit, but we just started. We didn't even get to... We got to the first death, so there's still a lot. There's still a lot to unwrap in this story. I like to think Kevin is bald. I can picture that. I can picture Kevin being like this bald guy with thick glasses, and he's very he's very rational. He's the most rational of them all. And he's like, you guys, you know, I think we have to do something about this. It's like, nah, it's okay. Oh, 911 wasn't a thing in the 70s. What? It wasn't? Wait, no. Was it? Or wasn't? Like, I can't, I'm sorry, I can't tell if you're joking, but I guess, yeah, maybe it wasn't. Maybe, like, they were like, no, we don't. If only we had a service to, you know, help people who are overdosing or who are in a medical emergency. If only. Hi, Angel Powers. Hi, thank you so much for coming to the stream. Okay, so look at the dude's face. Looks like pickpocketing his wallet. I know, just casual bloodletting. Hi, Scorpio. Hi, thank you so much for tuning in as well. What am I pronouncing it like that? I don't know. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so this new practice, you know, drove a lot of members out of the cult, understandably so. But those who decided to stay and embrace the bizarre new ritual became even more devoted to Terri and the cult. So then we get to Sandy Cleaver. Sandy Cleaver was one of the devout followers. She was also a secretary/treasurer of the Conscious Development Group in 1974. Around the same time as Terri divorced her first husband, John, Sandy also divorced her husband and committed herself and her daughter, Devereaux, I think that's how you pronounce it, Devereaux, entirely to the cult. And she claimed that her ex-husband was, quote, blocking her spiritual development, end quote. The ex-husband also allowed Sandy to get custody of their then 7-year-old daughter because he actually was concerned and afraid that Sandy's beliefs might prompt her to hurt the daughter, and if she were to live with her father. So that's those are some serious concerns, you know? Like, if you are very concerned, if you think, sorry, I just burped. I don't know why. So if you think that your wife, your ex-wife, and her religious group or spiritual group might hurt your daughter, dude, no, you don't leave the daughter in her care. You take the daughter away and fucking skedaddle and change your fucking name and move to Peru and never see your ex-wife again. If you you reported to the police that you're afraid that your child is in danger. You know, they're in possible in a very likely danger if, I don't know, if you share custody. I don't freaking know. So as we go, as Devereaux grew and reached 14 years old, she became fully aware of her mother's association with the spiritual group and became increasingly embarrassed by it. While Devereaux was growing up into a healthy, energetic, and curious young woman, interested in sports and having lots of friends, Sandy started to believe, quote, that the evil spirits in Devereaux were trying to infect her energies, and Devereaux had been taken over, end quote. Well, that ain't good. Shit. I thought 9/11 was an 80s thing, but okay. I don't know. Google say otherwise. 999, the UK one, was made June 30th, 1937. Wait, 1968, you just dialed 0 for operator to contact police. Oh, okay. I mean, I guess that was is the Dale of the Black Lords. Jesus. Sorry, I was just reading Kevin is the Dale of the Black Lords. That's so true. Blood not flowing to their brain, right? I believe so. I think all that bloodletting was just, you know, preventing the blood to nourishing their brain and just affecting their, I don't know, common sense. There's no common sense in this situation. Like, honestly, a lot of those people were probably in a tough situation before finding the cult, the movement, and and they just, I don't know, like, isn't that always the case, you know, like people just, those people, the cults targeting people of like weak in their weakest moment, or like weakest mental situation, and they just prey on people and prey on people's you know, just mental weaknesses. You look cute, FEARSONA. Thank you. Thanks, Deku. Okay, so again, where was I? Okay, so Sandy starts believing that her daughter is having issues with her energies, like some negative energy is flowing through her and increasing and like coming into power, and Devereaux is being taken over by the evil spirits, which it sounds insane, and it's gonna turn even more insane. So Terri, motherfucking Terri, started telling Sandy that the evil spirits residing in Devereaux were trying to spiritually attack her, so Terri, with their great negative energy. And hold on tight, because this story gets dark very fucking fast. One day, Sandy surprised Devereaux. Even though she's never taken her daughter out shopping or allowed her to watch so much as a basketball game or hang out with friends, suddenly Sandy invited Devereaux to go with her on a trip to Hawaii. So Sandy, her fiance, Sandy's fiance, Devereaux, and another member of the cult traveled together to the paradise. On February 25th, 1979, Sandy takes her daughter on an inflatable raft, and together they waded out into a lagoon that was known as, quote, a better place for catching crabs than for swimming, end quote. Then they sailed out, quote, 400 yards to an area where the waves broke viciously over a razor-sharp coral reef, end quote. You guys probably know what I'm about to tell you next, and I get chills even saying that here, and I get super fucking angry. But let's continue. So Sandy later said that a wave knocked her and Devereaux off the raft, and then they were knocked apart by another wave. Sandy did get rescued by the fire department, who were called in by her fiance. Devereaux, however, did not survive the quote-unquote accident, and her body was recovered hours later. Oh, how nice of her. My god. Okay, that's terrible. Interestingly enough, Chuck, so Sandy's ex-husband, receives a phone call from one of the conscious development members hours before even like Sandy and Devereaux even reached Hawaii. So before his daughter's death, the person told him that there is a document Chuck needs to see, and that document was, surprise, surprise, his daughter's will. And the will said, quote, I give, devise, and bequeath all of my property, including all rights, titles, and interests of whatever character I may own in and to any property, real, personal, or mixed, wherever situated, to Terri, who has been to me like a second mother, end quote. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. So fun fact, this included Devereaux's $125,000 trust fund. The will was actually not binding due to the fact that Devereaux was not of legal age at the time she supposedly wrote it, and at the time of her death. So this 125K was off the table. Like, nothing of it is binding, but God, for a moment when I was reading this and I read about the trust fund, I was like, you biatch. What the fuck? About Terri, not about Devereaux, about Terri. Name one kid who has a will. I know, right? Like, that's just insane. None of those. Also, even if they did have a will, like, that's not legally binding, but still, no one has a will at like 14 or 15 years old. No one. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's fucking terrible. What? Filicide. How fun. I know. Let's make us on a cult where we just watch true crime videos. Hey, you know, I'm in the process of setting up a cult. Sorry, Pancho Villa said it. Let's make a sauna cult where we just watch true crime videos. We're in the process of setting up the cult of Our Lady of Perpetual Biscuits and Cheetos. We're just gonna, in which every week we're just, hey, we're basically doing that. We're just sitting down and it's just gonna be mandatory biscuits, tea, and Cheetos to munch on while we listen about murders. Also, that language is very similar. Which language? Wait, what? So, as I said, the will was luckily not binding. Damn it, Kevin! Why didn't you warn them? He was trying to, but I bet you as the other Black Lords just, I don't know, tied him up. And they were like, shut up, Kevin! We don't have time for this nonsense. Tea? Yeah, like, come on, tea and biscuits. It has to be immortality. Okay, so... Then... Wait, okay. At this point, Sandy has no one to turn to and gets more and more engrossed in the cult. And Terri starts claiming more publicly that she could communicate with the dead. And that included Glen and Devereaux. How convenient. And remember that Devereaux's will was not legally binding due to her age. Chuck, Sandy's ex-husband, was definitely not in for writing the trust fund and everything else off to Terri and her cult. So what does that leave us? Exactly. Sandy. So in 1979, Sandy calls off her wedding and further isolates herself from friends and family. She basically gives everything she owns to Terri, including her house, artworks, jewelry, everything. Sandy also takes out a life insurance policy for $300,000, which she said to be payable only to Terri. And in 1981, she also wrote a new will in which she again left everything to Terri Hoffman. She was worried about the evil negative vibes. Definitely not the 125k trust fund. Definitely not. That's not... Come on. Come on. Terri was just concerned, you know? Like, she was worried about her followers. And she was worried about Sandy, how she was dealing with the loss of Devereaux and how to protect the people. You know, that was just a necessary casualty, apparently. God damn. Like, obviously, there's no proof. And that was just a quote-unquote accident, unfortunate accident. But yeah, so we, you know, skip to Sandy later after Devereaux's death. And as I said, she was giving actively everything to Terri Hoffman. She did make a will in which she, you know, signed everything off to Terri. And mind you, this is like the craziest part. Sandy also made her elderly housekeeper, Louise Watson, write a will and give everything she owned again to none other than Terri motherfucking Leach Hoffman. God damn. Okay, so on September 9th, 1981, Sandy and Louise were driving in Colorado Springs on a business to visit some land that Terri and her newest husband, Don Hoffman, purchased. When they drove off a cliff, a 450-foot goddamn cliff, below the Gold Camp Road. They were both expelled from the vehicle and died pretty much instantly. The cause of this suspicious incident was never determined. There were no marks on the road, like where the car, you know, drove off the road. So there was no indication that they lost control of the vehicle. Nothing of the sort. There was no sign of any other vehicle, like kind of, I don't know, pushing them off the road. There's just nothing. There was just nothing. And It just seemed like suddenly they drove off a cliff. Taryn's like, what? Oh dear God. Who was driving? Sandy was driving. Sandy was driving. And yeah, it's just, yeah, there was nothing. There's no indication that this was an accident. That's the thing. But it was also not proven to not have been an accident. So yeah, like there's just nothing. Like the police is just like in complete I don't know, in a spot, like in a, yeah, like they have nothing. So it was pronounced an accident, you know. It was just, that's how it was. It was not a suicide, not, you know, an accident, not a murder. Like there was just no evidence. So that's where we are. They drove off a cliff. What? Yeah, they did. They just straight up drove off a cliff. Hey, Sona and Chad. Hi. Wait, King of Magica. Oh, go Tanks. Oh God, go Tanks. Okay, hi. Thank you so much for tuning in. Fuck this person, man. Oh boy. This is just like the beginning. It's still the beginning. We're not even halfway through. Okay, so Sandy Cleaver's brother actually challenged Terri for his sister's estate. Since the will and his sister's state of mind at the time the will was written were highly suspicious. If you remember, like she just lost her daughter, and you know, like also she was being heavily influenced by Terri and her cult. But the legal battle went back and forth, and eventually Terri agreed to pay Sandy's brother $112,000 in cash, 40% of the net proceeds from the sale of Sandy's house, and the rest was split in half between the two. Except she had no business having any of it in the first place. Like the family and friends were like, what the fuck, lady? Like you're not even supposed to have this. Like who are you to have our family member Sandy's and Devereaux's anything? But she did. So that's just like, God. Wait, I, being of sound mind and judgment, hereby drive off a cliff. Yeah, I mean, she might as well have wrote that, you know, like she might as well have written that in her will, and like just that Terri had no part in it, you know, like don't invent. I bet your ass there was, I didn't find any of the text from the Sandy's will, but yeah, I bet your ass there was like a paragraph about like her not asking people not to investigate her death or something. They're like, it's, yeah, like if I died, let's just not dwell over it. Like it's, Terri is not involved at all. Hint, hint. Please don't investigate. Just getting to the juice part. Yeah, like we're just getting into the juice part now. Not halfway though? No. No. Damn, it's just, yeah, it's just terrible. Okay, so, wait. Okay, so we get to another one. So Robin Oddstott was another one of Terri's friends and a devout follower of her teachings. She would sleep with, quote, special protective shields, end quote, against the Black Lords, and would even go as far as to spread protective crystals in her home in Lake Highlands, along with, quote, friendly gnome doll-like figurines. Wait, am I reading this right? Friendly gnomes doll-like figurines. Yeah, that's in my notes. So she was just putting, you know, placing all those crystals around her home as protective shields yet again. And yeah, some gnomes around her house, because apparently those, I mean, I can see why they would be freaky and like just scare, I don't know, scare people away, scare everyone away. Friends. I know, right? Like Friends. One of the Friends. And then in 1986, Robin declared her strange romance with, and get this, quote, a supernatural patriot named Joffrey, end quote, who, according to her detailed journals, was supposedly an invisible CIA agent. Let that sink in. An invisible CIA agent. You can't make this shit up. I mean, well, you can, but that means something's not quite right with you if you think it's real. But that's essentially what she did. Like, she believed and she was claiming left and right that she is dating a supernatural, invisible CIA agent. Whatever works for her. So, Robin claimed that George was a government agent who was training under Terri's guidance, who claimed she was, quote, using her powers to protect him, quote, end quote, sorry, from the American government. Yes, Terri was training an invisible CIA agent and trying to use her powers to protect him from the government, mind you, he was working for. Oh, she is totally sane. I know, right? And the will says, you know, Robin Odstad, of kind of sound, I don't know, sound mind. I don't know. I don't even know. Okay, so eventually Robin started believing that her non-physical bodies, astral and mental, were attacking herself and others around. Soon, the other members of the group started blaming Robin's aggressive non-physical bodies for all the bad luck and misfortunes around them. And that had sunk Robin into depression. Sounds familiar? About the, you know, negative energy and non-physical bodies that were attacking herself and were being a danger to others. It's awfully similar to Devereaux. And awfully similar to Glen, because he was also battling something similar. And he was like having those negative energies or whatnot. Which is like I don't know, it's a pandemic. You should look into that. You should maybe like disband this whole cult, because clearly this is not good for people. Gnomes and CIA agents, I know, right? Like it's such a good combination. You can't make this shit up. The invisible CIA agent who loved me. Oh my god, I can see that being the next Netflix you know, series or a movie. Not a very good movie, but you know, I can see Netflix picking up this this concept. Fucked story. Yeah, it is. No words can describe the amount of what I'm feeling. I think neither of us, like, I think none of us can like describe what we're feeling right now towards Terri and towards this whole fucking situation. I don't even know what's happening. Okay, so then in April 1987, Robin calls her ex-husband and informs him that she had contracted a terminal case of viral hepatitis, saying that it came from a, quote, banana peel, end quote. Let that sink in. She contracted hepatitis from a banana peel. But okay. Terminal hepatitis. So on April 21st, 1987, Robin attended a doctor's appointment to get her blood tested, and as her concerned ex-husband suggested, so that was, you know, that was a suggestion from her ex-husband. Also, a lot of ex-husbands in this story, like a lot of those women are just, you know, I mean, that's, you know, that's the process, right? Isolate yourself, and just getting you to isolate yourself from friends and family, and they were getting divorces like left and right. The mystery is starting to peel away. CW is like, what the fuck? She got banana AIDS. Yeah, right? The peel, it's just getting so insane. Like, anyone could, you guys are hearing this, I'm like reading this, I'm hearing this, I'm hearing myself, and I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? I can't even wrap my head around this. Okay, so, you know, Robin's ex-husband suggests, you know, he's very concerned, he's very worried for Robin, and he's like, okay, you gotta go to the doctor, you gotta get the blood tested, we have to confirm this, and we have to start treatment immediately. And then, you know, like, so she goes to the doctor, she gets her blood tested, and then visits Terri later that day, after which she returned home. Robin returns home and shoots herself with a .38 caliber gun, or revolver. I can't even pronounce it. So she, the same day, April 21st, 1987, she goes back home from, mind you, a meeting with Terri and shoots herself with a .38 gun that night. Not surprisingly, Robin's will passed, quote, her Colorado land, all her jewelry, writings, and personal files, figurines, clothes, and bedroom furniture to Terri Hoffman, end quote. Robin left a note at the scene that said, quote, I am apologizing to Terri 3,000 times a week on all levels of my being for the highly offensive, rude, and vulgar comments made to her last week. Of my being, so not even me. I get, or maybe. I love her dearly and beg her forgiveness one day, end quote. Damn, god damn it, why? So, I'm not sure if she was apologizing for the non-existent, like, non-visible bodies that were supposedly attacking, you know, her and everyone around and Terri, or she was, in this note, she's apologizing to Terri for, like, I don't know, like, this is just weird, for, like, rude comments and offensive behavior last week. So I don't know, like, maybe they had a, you know, it was kind of like a, I don't know, like a safety an airbag or a safety net for Terri. Like, maybe someone, I feel like someone might have left this note to just like, oh, I apologize to Terri, even though maybe some people would know that they had an argument, they were not on good terms, and then, you know, someone plans this note and tells, you know, like, that tells the story of like, oh, I apologize, I feel very remorseful, and that's why I left my possessions to Terri. I have the feeling Robin was not the one firing that .38 special. Yeah, I believe not. I'm pretty sure, or maybe she was, but she was so, like, she was either forced to, or she was brainwashed into. By now I can, like, say that, like, I believe that someone forced her to. Terri influenced her. Terri was also believed to be able to hypnotize people, so who the fuck knows, maybe her hypnosis abilities were just so strong that she could brainwash someone to actually go and do it, go and kill themselves. I wonder if anyone still owns a cult gnome figurine. I want to see that. I would buy that. I would buy it. No, probably not. It's probably a cursed figurine. Nah, it's, you know, everything is bollocks, so it's probably just a creepy gnome. But I totally want to see that. Okay, so then we go to another case of Mary Levinson. So Mary Levinson was a relatively new member of the CD group forming in Chicago, which was a new branch. And she had a family name that was very reputable and recognizable due to a chain of 13 men's clothing stores founded by her grandfather. Mary had a chronic knee pain and was often described as, quote, deeply troubled, end quote, and actually attempted suicide by taking pills at least a few times in her lifetime. She also suffered from anxiety and tension. Supposedly, conscious development and Terri Hoffman were helping her with all of her issues. Mary would have weekly Chicago to Dallas phone calls and phone consultations with Terri, and they were so highly secretive that Mary would even ask her own mother to wait in the lobby of her apartment building. Let that sink in again. These phone calls, these quote-unquote consultations with Terri Hoffman are just so secretive, so private, so, like, confidential that Mary asks her own mother not to step out to the other room, not to step out to, I don't know, like, hallway or kitchen or somewhere. She asks her to just, like, step out of the apartment altogether and just go to the lobby and just wait in the lobby for God knows how long until the call is finished. And the next contestant. Yeah, I know, right? Like, we know where it's headed. So on November 30th, 1987, Mary Levinson was found dead in a suburban Chicago motel room. Autopsy reports stated that she had overdosed on 2 types of prescription sleeping pills, and interestingly enough, it also noted, quote, a small needle puncture mark on her left wrist, end quote. Mary left behind a video for her family, in which she says that she had used her divorce settlement of $125,000 to pay off minor debts and give some to animal welfare societies in which she was involved. And then she added, quote, I also donated money to institutions, charitable institutions, which I will not name. I don't want any hassle, any trace, any way for you to try and retrieve that money that has been given out of love to them, to people that really need it. That was my money to do with as I pleased, and that was what I chose to do. I want you to understand that I am fully rational, and I have come to this decision after a long time of thinking. I am actually looking forward to it. I am in great deal of physical pain and emotional pain, and have been for about 6 months now. Obviously, with my past work with animals, I believe in euthanasia for those who are suffering horribly. End quote. Oh God, why? What? This is getting so bad. This is just so abundantly obvious that something's wrong. Like, she is just asking for the money to not be traced. So later, her family, Mary's family, discovered that Mary had been using her credit card to buy over $3,000 worth of fine jewelry in the days leading up to her suicide. Mary also charged her changed her life insurance policy to be payable only to, quote, Dr. Larry Caius, a former boyfriend whom she met at a retreat with Miss Hoffman, end quote. Interesting. So she leaves her life insurance policy to this random guy. And you would think, okay, I mean, you know, it's not Terri. But then she met this boyfriend while at a retreat with Terri Hoffman. So to me, it's very, very fucking clear who played a part in it. Big win for the animals, though. Well, supposedly, because they didn't. The thing is, the divorce settlement money that she claimed she gave to animal organizations, and you know, like all those other expenses, they were never actually tracked. Yeah, like that was never tracked. That was never accounted for. Like, they just don't. So we don't even know if animal shelters got anything, or animal welfare societies got anything from this money. So my God, she's learning. No, like that's the thing. No, like this is still so this settlement money, whatever she supposedly spent on animal societies, that was never accounted for. The jewelry that she bought, like, so over a $3,000 worth of jewelry, that was never accounted for. So we simply don't know. That's it. That's yeah, she never. I mean, this is clear. This is just too obvious. But there we go again to another case. So also in 1987, an English professor and conscious development member, Charles Southern Jr. Is it? Wait, Charles Southern Jr. Yeah. He was discovered by his family roaming the streets of Chicago while being completely incoherent. It was very much unlike Charles, who was an assistant chairman. He was an assistant chairman of the English department at the local junior college, and he was also an enthusiastic traveler. He was a prominent and active member of the Chicago branch of the Conscious Development Group, and was climbing the ladder quickly within the movement. So the incident that happened in 1987, where, he was just roaming the streets of Chicago, speaking in an incoherent way, completely like unlike him. As I said, like this was like a surprise to the family. This was not what they expected ever from, you know, from Charles. It was not like him at all. Like he was a highly educated person, a traveling, you know, a traveler, very enthusiastic about traveling. He traveled as far as to like India and Africa, and you know, he had those experiences. So this was like completely out of the blue. And when Charles's family admitted him into the hospital, 2 conscious development group members would visit him daily during his recovery. When he finally regained his health, he seemed, quote, disenchanted with Hoffman, end quote, and even talked to his family about his plans to travel to India in the nearest future to distance himself from the cult, from the group. 3 days before his planned trip, Charles spoke to his mother, telling her that everything was okay, he felt better than ever, and he was so ready to go. But then a week had passed, then 2 weeks had passed, and there was no contact from Charles. Not even a message, or not even a postcard from his trip. His parents drove across the country to Chicago, I think from Cincinnati. Oh my god, I can't pronounce it. Cincinnati, I guess that's how we pronounce it. So they, or was it Cincinnati? Yeah, I think. So they drove to Chicago because they were worried for his safety, and then they actually broke into his house. The scene they encountered was downright ominous and bizarre. So there was Charles's passport with no recent travel stamps to India, or entry stamps to India. Charles's hat and coat were neatly folded inside out and left on a, quote, ceremonial stool, end quote. They also found a vial of what later would be determined as a strong drug similar to poison, curare. I think that's curare or curare. This is a plant extract used for arrow poisons by indigenous people in Central and South America. They would also later discover that the neatly folded coat on the stool and the hat, well, the quote, not the quote, the coat, neatly folded on the stool was, quote, Nigerian tribal symbol of death, end quote. There were also some barely legible notes in the house. They mentioned Terri Hoffman twice, naming her the executor of his estate. One part of the note said, quote, I came under a bad influence and I was trying to fight it myself, end quote. But, you know, Charles Southern Jr. Was never seen or heard from again. So there was no body. There was just a bunch of weird items, you know, his belongings, and a bunch of notes that were just not legible. And this vial with this poison, but there was no Charles. And they never heard from him again. Big brain move. Where do you buy that? I know, right? First of all, where the fuck do you get this? A vial of like Central and South American arrow poison by like indigenous people. Executor of his estate. Oh, come on! It's just getting so insane. It's just getting so... I mean, it was pretty clear to me in the first case of Glen. Like, Glen's case was like very, very clear to me that it's something fishy, something like suspicious happening, but no one was doing anything about it. Of course she was. She must have got the curare from the invisible CIA agent. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's they are in on it together. Okay, so next up, and that's not the end. So we get to another case. Don was Terri's 4th husband, whom she married in 1980. Interestingly enough, before him and Terri got together, Don had another wife, Alice, and both of them joined the Conscious Development Group together as followers. They divorced in April 1980 after 22 years of marriage, and what's even weirder, Alice actually signed a waiver, or I don't know how it's called, like waiver, I guess, that allowed Don to marry Terri without the usual waiting period. So pretty much immediately he got a divorce, then immediately he just jumps to the second ceremony with Terri or whatever. Well, the second, like, you know, he just filled out his divorce papers, handed them in, and then he was just immediately, you know, filling out the marriage papers. I don't know. So Terri, on the other hand, divorced her third husband, Ben Johnson, just 1 month prior to her marriage to Don. Wait. Hi, hello. It's been so long that I haven't seen you. How are you? Oh, hi, DR. Hi, thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm good. I mean, as good as I can be talking about a murderous leader of a cult, because this is what we talk about on Sundays. Oh, I didn't realize it's also like Sunday. Charles, I really don't like Terri. Charles dies with a note to leave all his money to Terri investigators. I wonder who could have done it. Who could have done it? Sorry. This isn't a crime. This is a cartoon or anime with some massive plot armor. I know, right? Like it just gets worse and worse. It's like this one. We're getting to the final episodes of the season, to the season finale and of an anime. I don't know. Again, how the fuck has Terri not been questioned yet? I don't know, and it's just gonna be insane at the end too. Okay, so as I said, Terri, you know, Don just divorced his wife Alice, and then Terri divorced also her ex-husband Ben Johnson just 1 month prior to her marriage to Don. And by 1988, Terri and Don were having difficulties in their relationship. Don was supposedly treating Terri badly. Oh, boo-hoo, poor lady. Then Don supposedly fell ill with, quote, a mysterious assortment of physical ailments, end quote, which included pain and shortness of breath. We all know where this is heading to. But, you know, let's continue. So, on September 16th, 1988, Don checks into a room at a Marriott Hotel in Las Colinas, Texas. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. So Don checks into that room, and he commits suicide by overdose. In his suicide note and video messages, Don claimed that 3 different doctors diagnosed him with terminal cancer, and he refused to go through chemotherapy, not wanting to suffer only to live a couple more months. So Don's suicide was also awfully similar to that of Terri's second husband, Glen Coleman, with a similar mixture of drugs, and the fact that the autopsy revealed that Don did not have cancer, just like Robin Ostad, with her terminal hepatitis. So if you remember, like, Robin also strongly believed that she had terminal case of hepatitis, and then here we are with Don, just like days before his death, or, you know, minutes before his death, claiming that he's got terminal cancer, and he just doesn't want to go through chemo, and that's it, and he just decides to take his own life. And again, everything that Don had, he left to none other than Terri, because why the fuck not? Not suspicious at all. But this time, on March 3rd, 1989, Don's children actually sued Terri for wrongful death by, quote, Terri Hoffman used hypnosis to persuade her father to kill himself, end quote. I mean, I can see that happening, you know, like, she was supposedly a very, like very skilled in like hypnosis, so who's to say that she couldn't have convinced people? Well, she already brainwashed people, but she could have convinced people to like someone who believes, like, for one, to believe that they have terminal disease, and for two, just convince them not to get treatment, and yeah, to kind of end their suffering, quote unquote. Suicide by overdose. Terri is just spamming. I know, right? I guess you could say that His Highness killed him. I know. It's just... This is just too... By now it's just like so ridiculous and like just so clear. I say that all the time, but it's just so abundantly clear that there's something wrong with this situation. Like there's just too many deaths, suspicious deaths and disappearances surrounding Terri, and no one is looking into that. I'll say this once again. Where's the old bill? I don't know. It's just so weird. Like I don't even know what's happening. Hypnosis isn't enough for that level of control. Yes, but you have to remember that she was kind of gathering people who were of very weak mind and in a very weak state. So maybe she didn't exactly hypnotize them to you know, like kill themselves, but maybe she was influencing their mind to feel even worse about their life, just like, you know, emotionally, mentally abusing them. And eventually they just, you know, someone might be spiral, and, you know, considering their beliefs, you know, if she, the cult leader, the one who has supernatural powers or whatnot, and she knows everything about the astral world or whatever the fuck she was saying, if she tells you, hey, you've got this growing negative energy inside of you that is destroying your body and that is destroying us, like people around you, your family, your community, you gotta do something about this. And someone who is in a bad place mentally, like they, you know, it's not uncommon for them to just take their own life. I mean, that's what, logically, that's what I want to think happened. But, and, you know, like, and at the same time, she was just convincing people to give them all their money, like give her all their money. And it's just so clear. It's just too suspicious. She was probably targeting people with CPTSD and was gaslighting the hell out of them. I mean, yeah, like that's PTSD? Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what happened. Like, I want to know, I want to believe that that's what happened. I mean, most likely that's what happened. That was her, right? She had that perfect procedure, or perfect kind of perfectly balanced method to get into people's head and to convince them that this is their best option and this is their best you know, the decision that they can make to save themselves and save people of their community. I will repeat my earlier question. Are you some kind of actual investigator and these are all real crimes? Is it a hobby to investigate these stuff, or is it RP, I guess? Sorry if it's RP, just gonna make sure. It's a hobby. I'm not an actual investigator. And these are real cases as well. So, you know, you can definitely look them up. I did not make those up. Like these are actually real cases, which is like even more terrifying. But yeah, I am not an investigator. I am just a true crime VTuber, and this is my hobby. This is something I'm passionate about. So that's what we do on the weekends. CPTSD is a form of post-traumatic stress disorder associated with repeated trauma over an extended period of time. Yeah. So, like, you know, they were experiencing that. They were just a complex. Okay, that's what it stands for. I was like, what? I know what PTSD stands for, but then I was like, see, what does that stand for? I forgot. Sorry. Yeah. So that's essentially what happened, and it was just a complicated situation for those people. Like, they were, as I said, to begin with, they were in a bad place when they got, because people who get into those cults, oftentimes they are in a bad place mentally when they join the cult. That's why they get so easily influenced and pulled in. So it's just no surprise that those people who died and in those suspicious circumstances, they were easily like influenced, easily just programmed by Terri. But yeah, that's so. Dawn's, you know, back to the story, Dawn's children actually sued Terri for the wrongful death of their father, but nothing much came of it so far. And then we go to yet another person. Okay, so Jill Bounds was yet another one of Conscious Development Group's devout followers and a close friend deeply involved with Terri over the years. However, Jill leaves the cult in 1982 after all the mysterious deaths surrounding Terri gained publicity, and it was becoming just more and more suspicious, so Jill wanted out. Later, Jill would be absolutely convinced that Terri and other members of the cult were harassing her, and also going as far as to infest her house with cockroaches. Jill also told multiple people that she was afraid of Hoffman. Then, on September 20th, 1988, Jill Bounds was beaten to death in her bed with a bludgeon. Let that sink in. We got a murder. So, what's curious is that one of only 3 windows in her house, or on that floor, was not on the security system, and it was left opened, even though if it had been a break-in, this window would make a lot of noise and wake Jill up immediately, like for sure. Her family said that, like her family was convinced that this window, like they knew this window is pretty loud, it's very hard to open, and it would definitely wake Jill up. So this implied that the murderer opened the window after killing Jill, so that it seemed like a break-in. Also, several pages were ripped out of Jill's 1979 journal, one she kept while she was still in the cult. The attacker also appeared to have cleaned him or herself in the bathroom. Despite the fact that Jill's expensive Cartier watch, her computer, her TV, and stereo, I guess, were left untouched, her jewelry, gold, gems, as well as her gun were missing. Jill's mom also found what she called was an occultic drawing several days after the murder right outside of Jill's bedroom window. So we've got this weird drawing just like randomly be left out of her, you know, outside the window of the room where she was murdered in. Allegedly, Jill had been visiting Terri Hoffman several months earlier that year. Not only that, but one of Jill's former friends from the cult had her alarm code, which is like fucking insane. Like you don't leave those things with a person from the cult you're supposed to like, you wanted to leave. So one time, he actually made a strange remark to Jill's sister, asking her, quote, if she knew he was the beneficiary to Jill's life insurance policy, end quote. Jill's murder actually remains unsolved to this day, but her family still strongly believes in the involvement of the Conscious Development Group and Terri Hoffman specifically. Finally, an obvious murder, not probably murder. Man, I don't know why, but the idea of a murderer cleaning themselves in their victim's bathroom creeps me the fuck out. Not only you, like seriously. It's just weird. Like some murderers also like just stay in the house with the fucking body, and they, I don't know, like they rummage through the stuff, that's one, but they eat something like from the fridge and they just hang out there, which is like I could not. Like, don't you feel like creeped out? I mean, you're a psycho, so I guess you wouldn't. Oh nice, I bet you're gonna become an investigator in the future. I mean, would be great. Like maybe not like a full-time investigator, but like if I could help, if one day I help solve an actual true crime case, hey, sign me up. You do an amazing job at explaining those stuff, even with little context and being small brain. I kind of understood the case. Good job. Thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are, you know, like, are following and, you know, like, you understand what I'm saying, even if the case is a little messy. That means the murderer was likely very comfortable. Yeah, that's right. Like, that means it was some, if the murderer was comfortable enough to just, like, after the butchering Jill, go into her bathroom and, like, clean themselves, they felt comfortable in her space. I mean, obviously that's just circumstantial evidence, that just, you know, kind of us talking with no actual evidence, but it just shows that it was someone she might have known. I mean, come on, we all know who was it, like, come on. It's just too obvious. Okay, so as I said, there was some kind of life insurance policy that one of the former friends of Jill's said to her sister, that he was the sole beneficiary of the, you know, of this will, but it was never actually confirmed. Yeah, I mean, as I said, family just is convinced. They are convinced that this was the CD group's and Terri Hoffman's job, and that's just even more depressing. Like, that's just the depressing part, is that this is unsolved to this day. Okay, so we go another one. So David Goodman, a professor at Southern Methodist University in Dallas, had a bright future ahead of himself. Ahead of himself, sorry. He was one of the inventors of the Goodman PV system, which was, quote, a complex computer-tested formula for picking stocks, end quote. It was actually a formula that just let you, like, gave you very immediate returns in stocks. So it was a big deal, you know. He made quite a bit of money from financial advisement, and quickly quit his teaching job just entirely. His marriage, however, fell apart, which drove him into a, quote, period of great pain, end quote, that led him to start attending counseling sessions with Terri Hoffman. He put a lot of faith in Terri and her abilities, believing she could read minds and even read people's auras. Oh god, it's getting crazy. So Terri played a big role in marrying off the almost 40-year-old David to two different 20-something-year-old followers of the CD group by the early 1980s, though the marriages failed within a few years. Still, he marries, like, he's almost 40, and he marries like 20-something-year-olds, just like kind of pimped out to him by Terri. Then in 1984, David found his soulmate, Glenda Carlson. She was divorced, a mother, closer to his age, and she was also a devoted conscious development member. Yeah, so they found each other and they quickly married. And that subsequently also meant they would get more deeply involved with the conscious development group. Glenda gradually isolated herself from her family and even sent off her two daughters to live with their father in Singapore, allowing them to only come visit her for only 2 weeks every summer. Just telling them that they can't, you know, they have, I don't know, how do you send off your children to, like, the other side of the world, and you basically tell them, oh, you can't visit me, you can only visit me like 2 weeks out of the whole year, and because your energy is, like, I don't know, distracting me, like, this basically, like, the I don't know, it was also David, like, David reportedly considered Glenda's children a distraction, that their energy was a distraction to them, and their work with the group, with the cult. And I don't understand, like, distraction from what? Like, from what? murdering people or scamming people out of money. Like, oh God, kill me now. So David also went no contact with his parents and adult son, Rick, telling them that he could no longer communicate with them. A set of journals found in David's home talked about their meditation sessions and that, quote, particularly insightful meditations took place with the aid of white pills, mysterious unidentified capsules that Terri gave them, end quote. Not suspicious at all. Oh my god, this is getting... oh, it's great. Okay, so David and Glenda showered their guru, Terri, with gifts, including a 2-bedroom house, $5,000, a car, and pretty much half of everything they owned. Between 1987 and 1988, it is estimated that the couple gave Terri Hoffman over $100,000 or $110,000. Glenda and David's journals, aside from their spiritual experiences with the cult, documented at one point that they were, quote, on a dark and lonely path, waging deadly battle with evil black lords, end quote. The journals were also erecting metaphysical shield, so they were on that lonely path, and also they were using some metaphysical shields to protect themselves from danger, enduring karmic poison to prove their faith. They were also extremely paranoid of being infected with negative energy. In January 1990, Glenda and David Goodman were found shot to death in their Lake Highlands home. It was actually determined that they had been dead for over a month by the time they were found, and the incident was ruled a double suicide. In Glenda's journal, there was the final entry in which she wrote about, quote, a warning from God about leeches and meddlers who would pry and persuade her that she would never get her energies, end quote. Police also found a note in Glenda's car that read, quote, I am extremely depressed right now and would love to have the nerve to kill myself. But so far, I can't get up the gumption, end quote. So, yeah, so their bodies were discovered a month later, like a month after they actually supposedly killed themselves. Mind you, you find these journals and there's like a bunch of notes about like someone, some leeches, some like meddlers, and someone who would pry and try to convince them that they would never get what they were striving for. So those like positive energies, or whatever protection from the evil spirits, someone was convincing that they would never get to that point. And then you find another note in Glenda's car that says that she cannot bring herself to commit suicide. And yet, here they are, 2 bodies supposedly shot themselves, like supposedly killed themselves, but then you know that Glenda, could not commit suicide. So unless it was David who murdered Glenda and then committed suicide, like just one of them, or the other way around, like I just don't see how that happened. Let me guess where all the money went. Yeah, like that's, they left. Yeah, I mean, as I said, like throughout 1987 and 1988, like they gave Terri quite a few gifts, including a house, a car, whatever, pretty much everything they owned, and like that kind of totaled over $100,000. And and their will also, obviously they signed off everything to Terri and to the cult, so no surprises there. You notice how nobody in the cult is happy? I know, right? Like, that's, if nobody is happy in that place or in this group, there's something wrong. Like, you clearly have to fix something, or you have to disband this fucking group and just move on with your life and just go to an actual therapist. Also, you're gonna turn down the amount of times you are saying killed themselves and suicide. Okay. Else you'd have gonna bite your left knee. It's okay. I mean, I know. Like, I say that too much, but it's not. Yeah, I mean, this video is not marked for kids. It is not marked for kids. It's not for kids, so don't watch it. You know, get out of YouTube if, or like get off this video if you're, you know, if you're a kid and you're not supposed to be here. So, I mean, this is how it ended. You know, they were, yeah, they died. Okay, so in 1989, deaths of, or 1990, when you know, when sorry, in 1990, when the deaths of David and Glenda were discovered, actually a year prior, in 1989, when, you know, like the other deaths were still kind of very fresh and the other cases were fresh and they were still unexplained. Finally, the Dallas County District Attorney started investigating Terri Hoffman's activities, especially focusing on the deaths and strange disappearances surrounding the cult. Unfortunately, the lack of hard evidence resulted in Hoffman not facing charges for any of the above. However, several of the family members of the deceased conscious development followers decided to pursue lawsuits against Terri Hoffman, claiming that she, quote, caused and profited from the deaths of 10 associates and relatives who committed who committed suicide and or suffered untimely deaths while under her influence, end quote. This is a quote, okay? I had to say that. Also, we're on 11 deaths and or disappearances now. Well, I think is it 11 or 10? Was it 10? They only now started, yeah, like they only started investigating this shit, and then they just dismissed any legal any charges were like dismissed because they didn't have official evidence. But then the families actually sued Terri Hoffman. The civil suit also accused her of using, quote, hypnosis and mind control to seize the assets of the followers, and then somehow cause them to suffer fatal accidents or commit suicide, end quote. Again, a quote. Committed not alive. I mean, if I get a strike, I get a strike, you know, like, this is what we do. It's fine, I can handle it. And I wish I could say those civil lawsuits actually went through and they actually did something to Terri, but in October 1991, Terri Hoffman formally filed for bankruptcy, which essentially prevented the civil lawsuits from pursuing her. However, with her bankruptcy filing, Terri was charged with fraud, accusing that she, quote, hid a variety of assets, debts, payments, and contracts, end quote, during her bankruptcy. She was facing 50 years in prison after being convicted of fraud on all 10 counts. But in May 1995, Terri appealed the conviction and argued that there is no sufficient evidence that she, quote, knowingly and fraudulently, end quote, made false declarations. And this conviction was reversed. The fraud case dismissed. What am I saying? So the fraud case was dismissed and Terri Hoffman was acquitted. Why? Yeah, we get to a very shitty ending. So as I said, where did that money go? I don't know. It was just, it's Terry's, you know, no one questioned it. That's the thing. Like, everything was dropped. All invested in spirit gems. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Everyone's like, huh? What the frick? Why? So, as I said, this was the whole thing. This was dismissed. There were no legal charges by the district attorney. The civil lawsuits fell through. The fraud lawsuits fell through. Nothing worked. And then a website appeared. a website called heavenandearthphoto.com, which displays a photo of Terri Hoffman, but refers to her as Terri Lilia Keenly, an artist. The website sells photographs of angels and other celestial beings, which essentially are just cloud and sunset pictures, with some of them having faces and bodies just digitally painted onto them, and they look like, I actually checked it and it just looks like someone was just doing it in like paint, MS Paint, essentially. So Terri Hoffman allegedly died on October 31st, 2015. And her obituary read, quote, "So our leader has left us on the physio-astral, but nevertheless still exists on all the other levels until we meet again," end quote. And this is the end of this case. That's essentially what happened. That's where we are. Wait, who's wait, Scholastica Parable. Oh god, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't notice the donation, but thank you so much. Like the Cult Gnome Fund. Enjoy your cursed doll. Thank you for donating $5 for, you know, for me to buy a cursed gnome figurine from the cult of a murderous lady. Biatch. Must have been the wind. I know, right? I'm convinced Terri is a mutant with the power to not get caught. I don't even know. Like, was it all the money that she, you know, got from the people, and she could just pay her way out and like bribe her way out of this? There's just no explanation to this. There's a guy who, so she got away with it. Yeah, she essentially got away with it. That's where we are. This is like, that's the end of the case. Like, she supposedly dead. She's dead. But then the you know, that website, heavenandearthphoto.com, like, she still has those photos. She still has the whatever, like her name, like the Terri Lilia Keenly as the artist, and supposedly it sells photos, so why not? There's a guy who has been arrested and will be in prison for his entire life, even after being profited that he is innocent, proof that he is innocent. But since there's no hard proof, they can't go to court. Yeah, there's just so many messed up cases in this world. Like, I don't even understand, like, how is that allowed? How is that allowed to happen? It didn't go off. Wait, BS plot armor pain. I'm so confused. So am I. What is the cult still? Wait, is the cult still running? No. The cult is, although, no, I didn't find anything, like any official website or anything. So I assume with her death as the leader, as the, you know, spiritual leader, like, the cult just got disbanded. If this cult is still up and running, I'm like, no, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is disbanded. And there's no way this is the end of the case. I do not at all buy the idea that she dies on Halloween. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like, that's just so messed up. Like, she actually died on, yeah, that's, I don't even know. Thank you for having me on the stream, Sona. See you next stream. See you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Ignorance is, I don't know. Ignorance is just like strong with this one. And yeah, sorry, my bad English. For my bad English, some spelling and grammar are just a little bit confusing. No worries. Like, I'm sorry for like not reading it correctly. Okay, so let me switch to the office. Man, that's like, I cannot. This is like, this case is just like crazy, about a cult that preys on people's weaknesses and just like basically gets your money and murders you. And before you say anything, I assure you, Our Lady of Perpetual Biscuits and Cheetos does not condone mysterious deaths within our units, as it shouldn't. And we condone sending a message, you know, like, preferably one with some biscuits in it, and the rest is up to you. But yeah, that's about it. But okay, so to lighten the mood, because this case was fucking crazy, and also just infuriating. As I did before, like before, let's read some ridiculous laws from Colorado, because why not? I'm looking forward to seeing this. Okay, so the dark side. We're not done yet, so stay behind if you want to hear some ridiculous laws from the state of Colorado. Okay, so number 1, it is unlawful to lend your vacuum cleaner to your next door neighbor. That's in Denver. So Denver is you know, you can get arrested for lending your Hoover to your neighbor. Thanks for the knowledge. I will be rewatching the stream though. Okay, no worries, no worries. Like, yeah, sure, go ahead and rewatch it. Oh, and also, like, please, you know, take a split second to like the video. That's gonna help me a lot. So if you can just, you know, your hand can just like slide to the like button and just, you know, click it. Thank you. Okay, number 2. Wait, it is illegal to ride a horse while under the influence. I mean, don't get drunk and ride a horse. That's biscuit time. It is biscuit time. So get your biscuits and listen to some of the weird laws from Colorado. Hopefully see you next stream. Good work. Thank you, and see you next stream. Well, I'm not finishing. I'm not ending yet, but well, guess I won't let Sona use my vacuum to Sona or Tyrant. Yeah, like seriously, right? Don't lend your Hoover to your neighbor or me or anyone, because you might get arrested. I mean, that one's understandable. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, you can't. Is that a bad thing? Like, if you just lend your Hoover to someone? Well, okay, no. Okay, the understandable one is the one getting drunk and like riding a horse. Yeah, you should not do that. That's fair. That's a fair enough law. Yeah, it is. Okay, the next law is throwing missiles at cars is illegal, and that's in Alamosa. I mean, come on, what's there's no fun in not throwing missiles at cars, clearly. But this must have happened, like, for them to actually like specify it in the law. Like, what the fuck? No, I mean the horse. Yeah. So sorry, I think there's a delay, so I was just I don't know, like I got confused for a moment. Don't drink and ride sounds pretty sensible, to be honest. Yeah, so it's just the horse part, I guess. But yeah, missiles thrown at cars. Come on, you don't know how to have fun. GTA V lobbies. Not the US, but still. Wait, I've got one for you, Fear. In Africa, you can get jailed for 10 years for a misprediction of the weather. What the fuck? Why? Why though? Is there a reason behind this? Like, why is it so harsh? Okay, I mean, they are kind of heavy, but maybe. Okay, I don't understand the Africa law. Also, is it illegal to convince a self-conscious AI to kill themselves? I mean, it should be illegal to set up a cult to begin with. Missile is just another word for a projectile in this case. Oh. Well, I mean, it just sounds bad. It just sounds like something that's very specific. Props, I think. Hey, FEARSONA, you're hot. Oh, thank you. I mean, sure. And my Yak Fu shirt is I think it's the selling point of my model. Okay, so another law says car dealers may not show cars on a Sunday. And do with this what you will. Why? And also they are not, apparently they're not allowed to sell cars, like specifically cars on Sunday. Cause I don't know. What is it with Sunday? And they also have like I think there's like another law that states something about like with a time limit or something. I'll find it. Wait, okay, another one. So in boulders, in Boulder, it says that boulders may not be rolled on city property. Boulders in Boulder. Another one from, I guess, Pueblo. It's illegal to let a dandelion grow within the city limits. So apparently you can't grow on your lawn or anywhere in Pueblo. You can't grow weeds or, you know, dandelions that are higher than 10 inches or something. Which is like, what the fuck? What is happening? Sunday equals church day. Yeah, ain't nobody got time for buying cars. We all go to church. I mean, I also just finished, which is like a funny thing to say because I just finished watching Midnight Mass on Netflix, the series Midnight Mass, and it was just like so fucked up. Yeah, churches are, I don't know. I want to say after this series, I feel like churches are dangerous and there's shady shit going on, but I knew that from the beginning, even before. Though thou shalt not eat Cheetos on Sunday while wearing a cowboy hat, it seems to fit in. We can make that happen. We can make that a rule, a law in Our Lady of Perpetual Biscuits and Cheetos. That's gonna be a law. We have a law against ice cream in pockets on weekends. Why? That's so specific. Why? But so it's okay. It's okay to just like keep ice cream in your pocket on any other weekday, but just not on Sunday or on Saturday and Sunday. That's so weird. Howdy, just wanted to drop by and say sorry for missing your stream. No worries. I had to work late tonight. Hope it was a good case. It was a good case. It was a crazy case. Okay, so yeah, we have dandelions. No tall grass and no tall dandelions, and especially dandelions. Like Pueblo is like, fuck you, dandelions. We hate you. Where can I buy a cowboy hat? I don't know. I mean, you can just Amazon. You can just go to Amazon. It's weird, but on Thursday it's fine. What is happening? Why? You're only allowed to eat biscuits on a Tuesday afternoon, but only whenever someone steals from Walmart. That is very specific. I like that. The dandelion law sounds like a bunch of gardeners just got fed up one day and made the city pass a new law. Yeah, just don't let dandelions grow, and also fucking dandelions. It is illegal to kill someone, take their meat, and make some nice meals, use their bones and skin to make a sofa, and make someone from their family to use it. I mean, I would hope so. I would hope this would be illegal. I would very much hope so, that please don't murder people and turn them into sofas. Okay, so this is a law from Aspen. As I said, one of the things in Aspen is a law that basically bans any snowball fights or just throwing snowballs. But there is also a law that says catapults may not be fired at buildings. Which, what? I don't know. Like, it's so weird. Okay. So, statewide law states that one may not mutilate a rock in a state park. So don't go mutilating boulders and rocks in Colorado, because you're gonna get put in prison. The moment you try to, you know, mutilate a rock, it's just gonna be like wee wee wee. Okay, keeping a oh, that's basically brothels. Sorry, but there's another law that says in Alamosa, it says keeping a house where unmarried persons are allowed to have sex is prohibited. So, is it? Wait a minute. Would that be like any apartment? I don't know, like a couple rents an apartment or has a house and it's an unmarried couple and they clearly, you know, engage in sexual activities. They would be like instantly some foreplay and then, you know, police car, just sirens. Damn that rock. Okay, Tyrant, let the catapult up and running. Tyrant, let that catapult up and running. Yeah, seriously, in Aspen. I want to fire my catapult at your building. I know, right? Like, that's so specific. I live in Baltimore. Oh, okay. Wait, was there any law, like any crazy law from Baltimore? If there is, Deck would just like share it. Kevin tried to warn them that the catapult would get them in trouble, but they didn't listen. I feel like all of those laws, Kevin was just like ripping his. Oh no, wait, that's why he's bald, because he, like, before these laws were like created, he was like ripping his hair out, and he just ripped all of it out because he was trying to convince the other lords, black lords, to to not do this, but they didn't listen. No one ever listens to Kevin. Oh, poor Kevin. Okay, so another law, and that's from Louisville. It says that residents may not own chickens, but may own up to 3 turkeys. So yes to turkeys, no to chickens. Oh my god, Tyrant is like, catapult, huh? Interesting. SWAT team comes crashing through the bedroom window. I know. And not even like at foreplay. So no one night stands. I mean, it seems not. And in Louisville also no chickens, but yes to turkeys. So turkey, you're so fine. Okay, another one is from Boulder also. Couches may not be placed on outside porches. Aw, no couches? Okay. Bro, pain. Alright, FEARSONA, I gotta leave now, midnight for me, so I hope to see you next stream. See ya. See you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I mean, okay, I guess. The chickens? Yeah, that's... Here, should you be talking about turkeys? I have an ongoing war with turkeys in a game called Don't Starve Together. I always try to murder a turkey and it just doesn't go well. But yeah, like I hunt turkeys. Okay, so another one is from Logan County, I guess. Is it Logan County? It is illegal for a man to kiss a woman while she is asleep. Wow. So that's like, you know, like you're there with your wife in your bed and you just so happen to be living in Logan County and you're feeling extra mushy and you want to give her a kiss goodnight. It's just like SWAT team just rolls, you know, jumps through the window, crashes through the window, and they're like, woo woo. Sexual assault. No. Oh, so actually this says that this law came about after a wife became tired of her husband's morning breath. Wow, that's cold. That's so fucking cold, lady. Baltimore laws. Yeah, like if you have any like ridiculous law that you know of in Baltimore, just share it. You can share it. We can laugh about it. The Sleeping Beauty. I guess it is the Sleeping Beauty law or syndrome or whatever. But it's just the kid, like, yeah, I mean, obviously that sounds bad, but it's just, let's say a wife and a husband and a wife and, you know, a kiss on the forehead to just like say goodnight and just immediately just like arrested. How would you prove that? I don't know. I have no idea. Like, unless someone just actually, I don't know, someone pressed charges. That's so fucked up though. Okay, don't you need a couple of people to approve those laws? Yeah, and apparently, I think I said it in the previous stream, but apparently, you know, those laws, it's actually easier to approve a new law than to remove the old law. Like, it's actually a pain in the ass. So passing a new law is just easier for them. So they just leave those, like, outdated old laws in place because it's just like a pain in the ass to gather and to vote to remove it or whatnot, and like all the formalities. But then it's like easier to pass a new law, so fuck you too, lady. Oh man, that's great. Okay, wait, okay, so from Cripple Creek, the law says it is illegal to bring your horse or pack mule above the ground floor of any building. I mean, what? Okay. Though elephants and zebras are always welcome. What the fuck? Okay, so I guess we going, I guess while I'm renting an elephant on a leash to walk down the Market Street in San Francisco, I might as well just like, you know, pop by Colorado and just walk my elephant on a leash on the first floor of like shopping mall or something. The second floor of a shopping mall. I guess that's fine. Just talk it out or get a divorce. Bye, go to sleep. Great stream about Slippery Terri. Slippery Terri, oh god, I'm loving this. Sorry for missing streams. Been busy with school. No wonder, Dia. Yeah, but have a good night. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Oh, hi, Nostika. Hi. We're just about to finish, but god, that's so weird. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it for the laws. And yeah, so we've gone through. Oh god, okay. Someone called Turkey Association has tipped $3. And the comment is, we remember, we're coming. Thank you so much for your donation, Turkey Association, but please don't come. It's okay. I promise I can be on my best behavior next time in the Don't Starve. I'll try not to hunt you guys down too much. I love this message. We remember, we're coming. You can't cause a catastrophe of widespread injury or damage by the use of, quote, a weapon of mass destruction, end quote, or explosion, fire, flood, avalanche, collapse of a building or other harmful. What? That's a law in Utah. How are you in control of that? How do you control that? Turkey. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for donations in this stream. And yeah, again, let me remind you, you can follow me for any announcements on Twitter, twitter.com/FEARSONAYT. You can also check out my Patreon. We are gonna have quite a few things and updates on Patreon this month, as well as a private stream on October 24th when I'm gonna release my Vtuber model, the new model, to my Patreons only. And then we're gonna have a a new model premiere or debut on October 31st, as well as a horror games and maybe horror movie marathon on a week, like, preceding Halloween. So that's gonna be on Twitch. So you guys can, go to the description below, and there are all of my social media links, and you can just check it out. And yeah, please don't forget to click that like button. It just takes literally a second, but you can support me and the cult of Our Lady of Perpetual Biscuits and Cheetos. And thank you so much for donations. That's gonna go into, that's gonna be used for a good cause of renting an elephant to on a leash to walk in San Francisco, and I don't know what else. On biscuits and Cheetos. It's gonna be spent on biscuits and Cheetos. But thank you so much for watching. It was a crazy case. I can't even begin to just wrap my head around it. But yeah, that's all for today. Stay safe out there. Always lock your doors. Don't join a weird, suspicious cult, and don't write off everything in your will to like weird cult leader. But that's it. Stay safe. Until the next time. Bye.